Sorry.
All right, so we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm going to share my screen in just 1 second. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are so happy that you're here. My name is Preeti, and I am a Senior Director of Product here at Passport. I'm getting close to my fourth anniversary here at Passport, which feels like a million years, but also the blink of an eye all at once. I have about 16 years of experience in the cross-border e-commerce space with background in marketplaces, retailers, D2C, all over the place. I love how active this domain is, and there are new things that I learn on a daily basis. I am joining you from snowy Connecticut. I am pretty sure I speak for everyone here when I say that global e-commerce has gotten a lot more complex just in the last year. Tariffs and fees shift on a daily basis, sometimes multiple times a day. You know what I'm talking about. Daily delivery networks fluctuate very often, all the while customer expectations just keep rising. In this environment, brands and 3PLs don't just need a provider who reacts, they need a partner who is ahead, who's planning ahead, who's seeing around the corners. That's exactly what today is about. We're going to kick things off with our compliance and global trade experts who will break down the changes that are coming across tariffs with US, Europe, and beyond, along with some practical tips for brands and 3PLs to stay resilient. From there, we will zoom into global growth, how you can expand your business in ways that actually work for you, whether it is launching TikTok Shop, entering new countries, or getting smarter about showing up where your customers are. And then the fun part, we'll walk through some product highlights, including some amazing demos from the last few months. The headline here is the next evolution for Passport Global. We're bringing AI-powered intelligence into international expansion so you can operate with more confidence, control, and predictability. You'll also see things like AI-powered HS classification and proactive exception detection, help reduce delivery failures, protect customer experience, all the while prevent issues before they hit your revenue. You will see how we're improving your conversion with accurate and transparent landed cost at checkout, and how our completely reimagined portal is designed to save ops teams hours and all the while helping e-commerce leaders expand faster than ever. We also have some surprises sprinkled in between, so I don't want to give everything away. So with that, let's get started. I will welcome our wonderful speakers today. So you know me, Preeti. Uh, with me, we have Elon, David, and Tracy. I'll hand this over to Elon to introduce himself.
Thanks so much, Preeti. Thank you, everyone. Very excited to be here. I'm Elon Rotenberg. I am Director of Product at Passport. I've been here for 5 years, which means that if for Preeti it feels like a million, for me it's at least 1.2 million years. And also been very excited to be in the space. I've been in product management for about 10 years now and have loved getting to build our product from when we were a much smaller startup to where we are today, serving thousands of customers across the world. And with that, I'll pass it over to David.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is David Navarrete. I'm head of strategic accounts and help lead our in-country and marketplace solutions. It's an area that has been a focus of mine over the past 10 years. And I'm really excited to be joining you guys and giving you guys an update on our extension of our marketplace solution, TikTok Shop in the UK and the US.
All right. Good morning. I'm Tracy Fisher, licensed customs broker and also a certified customs specialist. Been at Passport almost 4 years. So joining Preeti and Elon with the 1.2 million. I am the senior manager of global compliance. So I'm responsible for all things customs related. Been a customs broker for over 10 years and in the international space for over 18 years. So looking forward to giving some updates on the wonderful world of global trade and what we're going through right now. Back to you, Preeti.
Thank you, everyone. All right. So before we dive into the trade updates, the product updates, I want to zoom out for a minute and offer context on our overall product. At the highest level, Passport Global is our solution, a flexible solution with 3 ways to unlock growth, depending upon where you are in your journey. Whether you're starting cross-border, adding local inventory, or expanding onto marketplaces, we have a solution for you, and you can do all of it on the same platform without stitching together a bunch of different vendors. So if you're starting out international, we help you launch cross-border with localized experience, flexible delivery, and built-in compliance. Now, let's say you're scaling in your key markets. In that case, we can support local inventory and local fulfillment using local entities to improve speed, reduce cost, and elevate your customer experience. Now, let's say you're expanding new channels. So apart from your D2C, you also want to invest in marketplaces. So we will bring you into marketplaces in key geographies with compliant fulfillment, inventory handled from end to end. So all of this is so that you can drive conversion, you can protect your own margins and scale globally with confidence. You will still be owning your store, your customer experience, as well as your customer data. You are still in charge of that. So with that context, let's dive into our updates for today. And first up is what's going on with the new US tariffs and old US tariffs. So we have Tracy here who's going to break it down for us.
Perfect. Thank you, Preeti. Yes, thank you, and welcome everybody. So, latest and greatest from the Supreme Court came in, I believe, last Friday as they struck down the reciprocal tariffs and the IEPA tariffs that were put into place last year. They have said as of yesterday at 12:01 a.m., they are no longer being charged. So that would be the 10 and 20% fentanyl, the reciprocal tariffs that have been in place since last year. The administration then turned around and said, okay, well, we're going to impose a 10% Section 122 tariffs under the quote balance of payments. So that's how they're able to do it constitutionally this time. A few key notes on that. If you're shipping from Canada, Mexico, and your products apply to the USMCA, those are still exempt from the 10%. These 10%, the Section 122, is in addition to your regular tariff. So it is a stacking tariff. It also applies to postal. So even if it's going DDU, when it arrives at the US, that 10% will apply. There have been talks that it will go up to 15%. As of yesterday, I was on a webinar with Customs. They said, yes, potentially we'll go up to 15%, but they have negotiated some trade agreements with other countries. So that's why it is currently at 10%. But be on the lookout that it could be going up to 15% in the next days or weeks or coming months. This new Section 122 will be in place for 150 days. Congress can extend it and they can also cancel it and reinstate it as well. So just make sure we're always at the lookout to see, if it's in place and what you can do about it. Big question is, how do we get the refunds from all those tariffs that we paid this last year? We will walk through that on the next slide, but you can file a post-summary correction and a protest. We'll go over that next slide, but there are ways to get refunds back. Thank you, Preeti. The biggest thing that you'll want to do is contact your local customs broker who has filed those customs entries for you this past year. They have all the data from the original entry. Most of them have softwares that you can easily file a post-summary correction if the the entry has not been liquidated. If it has been liquidated after, they can then file a protest on your behalf. That is going to be the most important thing. They have all the information. They can file it through ACE or through their custom software and get that process started. One other recommendation is ensure that you have an ACE portal account and you have access to pull those reports. So that way you can pull the entries that have the HS codes 990301, 990302. Those are the two tariffs that have been said you're not constitutional. You can get the refund back. And also confirm that your company is the importer of record. Again, so if it's the entry is unliquidated, you can file a post summary correction through your customs broker. If it has been liquidated, you would have to file a formal protest, which you can file 180 days after liquidation. There have been some talks to say, if it has been liquidated, my customs potentially might unliquidate that, but customs and the government and Congress are still going through all those details. Once the PSC is filed through ACE or your custom software, when it comes to the refunds, I know that's a big question. When are we going to get our money back? Obviously, a lot of companies and importers are going to be filing this, so I would expect a few months, if not close to a year. More details are coming out, though, every month in regards to the refunds and the processes to go. But number one thing I would do, absolutely contact your local customs broker and get that process started now. All right, now we're going to switch gears. We have some great news and some great updates from the EU of their changes. As of July 1 of 2026, the EU 150 duty de minimis is going away. They're going to target all e-commerce parcel shipments under those, and they're going to say duties are now going to apply under, even if it's a zero, or excuse me, under 150 duties. They're also going to charge a $3 flat customs duty. So that is going to be per unique item. So if you have two t-shirts in your parcel, it would be a $3 or €3, excuse me. If you have a t-shirt and a pair of jeans or cosmetics and a t-shirt, each of those items, because they're a unique HS code based off the first HS6, would it be charged the $3 euro? Again, this only impacts e-commerce parcels. It also is going to impact the DDU shipments, even if it's going postal. The local post will charge these upon delivery to the customer. These are separate than VAT and other handling fees, and they're also stacking. So if you had the regular duty rates, this $3 handling duty is going to be on top of those fees. There's also going to be an EU handling fee to handle these additional charges that they're going to be collecting. They are separate than customs and VAT. Some countries, as you can see on the right-hand side, Romania, Italy, France, they've started to already charge some of these handling fees. A few notes though, when it comes to like Romania, they started in January 1. That's only if you're clearing directly into Romania. So if you ship with passport and you ship priority DDP, we clear through the Netherlands and then gets local delivery to Romania. So that fee would not apply. So each country is going to act a little different. I would say by the end of November 2026, all EU countries should be on the same charging fee and everything like that, but they do have the right to charge different handling fees. And then overall, with everything in the system, is supposed to be completely completed by 2028. But they're obviously moving things a lot quicker. So if you need any help with classification, making sure that, if there's other HS codes that we could potentially use and still be compliant, Passport can look through your product catalogs to determine if each is a unique product catalog, or if we can, try to add those together so you're not paying $3 for everyone.
This is a lot of information,
It is.
all coming at us all at once. So I am glad that we are on top of it. And here are some ways we are helping that Tracy will take us through.
Yes. So big thing would be to do DDP shipping, includes all the charges up front. So at checkout, you have one lump sum. There's no surprises at checkout or upon delivery. Passport, if you're part of our Passport Global program, we can do A/B testing to add in that €3, €3 to see if conversion, how the impacts of conversion is, as well as we offer Passport Seller of Record. So we manage all the taxes for every EU country. We remit So you don't have to register in every country, and Passport takes on that liability and that process for you to make it very seamless upon delivery and customs clearance. And also in country, if you have the in country and you're fulfilling from the EU, that $3 euro goes away. It's not charged on that. And also on B2B, the $3 handling fee and $3 duties is for e-commerce cross-border shipments. So if you have the opportunity to go in country, that $3 is a way to not have to pay that fee.
And we can help you with that.
Exactly. All
Okay,
right.
another one.
Yes.
EPR.
All
What
right.
is
So
it, Tracy?
more
Yeah.
regulations coming through. EPR, extended producer responsibility, and EUDR, deforestation regulations. So EPR, it would require category registration reporting, and you're going to do the packaging. It's not anymore of, hey, I'm sending a cardboard box. You're going to have to do the cardboard box, the plastic, how much air is even in these packages. You register for every EU country, and you have an EPR registration number that you submit to the government to say how much waste and how much recyclable items are you bringing into the country. Another thing with excuse me, and then David, if you wanted to mention on
Sure.
TikTok and marketplaces.
Yeah, so just to chime in, we're already seeing aggressive monitoring across marketplaces such as Amazon in the EU, where listings are being taken down regularly if you don't have an active EPR registration number. So at first, this was more of a slow burn. I'm talking, early 2025, but enforcement has ramped, measurably. And without your EPR registrations, or a solution such as Passport's marketplace management, your listings will not stay active long. So just calling out to make sure that you're on top of it.
Perfect, thank you. And we are starting to see enforcement on e-commerce shipments. So not as strict as David was mentioning on marketplaces and in-country B2B, but we are going to start seeing on the e-commerce side. So um, if you need help or we have templates to help, and we can refer you to EPR regulators in country to help you with the filings if you need that. And then also on the EU deforestation regulation, a couple commodities, coffee, cocoa, cattle, leather products. You'll have to find out where the geolocation of those materials came from. So recommendation is start to look at your supply chain, see where these products are made, the exact latitude, longitude of where you source these products. There's a due diligence statement that you'll file. The compliance deadline for medium to large enterprise brands are the end of 2026, December 30th. If you're a small brand, you have until June of 2027 on the e-commerce site to start being compliant on those regulations. One note, if you are part of our Passport Global in-country enablement, we handle the EPR and EDR compliance on your behalf.
All right.
All right. And then switching gears after our going into more of our product updates and things that Passport has been working on to help our brands scale is we have an internal tool with HS code classification that we utilize AI as our helper. As we all know, customs, especially customs regulations, HS codes, how important they are, especially with the EU regulations, the imports, and everything in global trade right now. You want it to be accurate. You want to make sure that you're paying the correct duties and taxes. Your shipments are getting cleared. They're not being held for descriptions that customs doesn't love. And then you want to make sure that the HS code is actually accurate as well. So we have built an internal tool that matches similar products that we have classified over the years. It matches country-specific HS codes, so there's no guessing. So once that product arrives at country, the destination customs broker has HS code specific to that country, and it was able to clear without questions. It helps with huge product catalogs. So if we have product catalogs with 500,000 SKUs, we can handle that. We run it through this system. The AI generator will suggest descriptions, HS codes. There will be an accuracy or confidence level We also have two licensed customs brokers on staff, so we are obviously verifying this data is correct. We want to make sure that you guys are compliant, but it also helps us scale. So if you want to grow, you have new SKUs, we are proactively running this through the system so that way we can classify, have great descriptions, and get your products delivered to your customers.
So this is not blindly using AI. We have human oversight here. We want to make sure that we are able to scale along with our customers, but we cannot take compliance for granted, which means real people have to validate what is it that the AI classified. Thanks, Tracy, for taking
Yes,
us
thank
through that.
you.
All right, so switching gears a little bit, brands can now also use Passport as their MOR for their cross-border shipments. So this is a service that we have been offering for our in-country customers for a while now, but this is now also available for our cross-border customers in addition to the seller of record, the SOR trademark service that we already offer. So what is this? What this means is in addition to all the internationalization and delivery logistics services that we offer to you, we can also be the business entity that is acting as the merchant of record on your behalf in certain key markets, which are listed here, US, UK, Canada, Europe, Australia, and Mexico. We can be your merchant of records, take order payouts on your behalf from your customers, from your buyers, and help you save 2 to 2.5% of fees in terms of lower payment processing costs, because these would be local transactions, and saving some money in currency conversion fees that you typically have to pay. So this service is available for Shopify Plus brands, and it is something that you can take advantage of. It is still as like we still are fully we're still taking full ownership of the tax compliance, and it is something that is ideal for large global brands who are seeking cost savings, and goes very well with our seller of record services for brands that want to keep direct cash flow. So one more service for you to use. The exciting one is something that David is going to talk about, TikTok Shop. Go ahead, David.
Thank you, Preeti. All right, let's talk about TikTok Shop. I'm going to focus more on TikTok Shop UK, just because understanding the registrants here that, most of you guys are US based businesses. But everyone here knows TikTok isn't just a social platform anymore. It's really a full-blown commerce engine. The numbers are really hard to ignore. TikTok Shop has now crossed 1 billion in monthly GMV in the US consistently. They did 15 billion in US GMV in 2025 alone. That's up 68% year over year. And in the UK, we're seeing, daily sales on TikTok Shop growing 93% year over year. So TikTok Shop UK has been one of TikTok's fastest growing commerce markets outside of Asia. And TikTok is actively incentivizing sellers, especially US based brands, to enter the market. But what most brands don't realize is launching in the UK it's not as simple as clicking sign up. The biggest blocker our clients see that is in order to sell on TikTok Shop UK, you must have a local UK entity and a local UK director tied to that entity. So, this is not a friend with a local UK address. It's a director of your business appointed to Companies House in the UK, with your legal LLC or court papers to prove it. So most brands hear that and immediately pump the brakes. But that's where Passport comes in, the solution I'm here to tell you guys about today. So we provide the entire local entity infrastructure. It's our VAT registrations, EPR certificates, responsible person designations, local banking, everything required to open and operate a compliant TikTok shop in the UK. We act as your merchant of record, becoming the local entity responsible for the sale and as your importer of record, getting your inventory into the country and handling duties, tax compliance, customs documentation, and of course, freight coordination. So setting this up independently, if you guys start to look into it, it's very costly. It takes months, not to mention, again, the ongoing cost and compliance burden. With Passport's TikTok shop, there we go, solution, we'll have you launch compliantly and selling in about weeks. So getting live is step one. Staying live is where we see most brands struggle. TikTok Shop UK runs heavily on fulfilled by TikTok. That means inventory forecasting, inbound case pack configuration, the labeling requirements, freight booking, and of course, seller center setup. All needs to be dialed in and dialed in correctly. So we're going to manage all of that for you end to end, from entity setup and compliance through seller center configuration and replenishment planning, all the way to freight booking into TikTok's fulfillment centers. So even once you're live, the operational complexity doesn't stop. There's receiving discrepancies. They happen. Inventory gets miscounted. Units go missing. If you're not filing disputes correctly and on time, that inventory usually ends up like in a state of purgatory. We've seen it happen for months for some of our clients. So our solution covers filing and managing all loss recovery, discrepancy disputes, and handling that directly with TikTok. Now, for brands who prefer to self-fulfill, we support that as well. And we do that via our partner 3PL facility in the UK or the US, if that's an area of focus. So then, of course, there's payouts, right? So TikTok pays out in local currency, and without the right structure, brands absorb FX conversion fees and unclear deductions that quietly, erode margin. So we audit every payout, collect in local currency, provide by line remittance reporting, and repatriate funds back to you in your currency of choice. So if TikTok Shop is a meaningful channel for your brand, and if you're in the sub 100 AOV world, the question really is not whether to lean in, it's how quickly. Social commerce is here now, and the brands that we are helping are moving early and are building advantages that will be hard to close in on later. So Passport solution lets you enter the US or UK compliantly, operate without regulatory exposure, operational drag, or margin erosion. And again, we're going to get you guys selling in weeks instead of months. So just to close it out, if this solution is of interest to you and you're already a client, please reach out to your CSM. If you're net new to us, you can learn more and reach out through passportglobal.com, the website, or via LinkedIn. Thank you.
Thanks, David, for breaking that down for us. Now we know that making TikTok videos is actually the easy part about TikTok Shop, and all of this is the complicated part. And by the way, David does not make the videos. He's just managing your TikTok Shop. You guys have to make your own videos. He made that clear to me. All right. So next. So this product update looks small, but it is actually quite mighty. So when you fulfill using Passport, and the tracking numbers and the shipment fulfillment updates go back into your Shopify platform. Earlier, it used to get tagged to this carrier called as other, because Passport was not a registered or a recognized carrier on Shopify for tracking. But that has changed now. We now are a recognized shipping carrier when it comes to tracking packages on Shopify, which means when brands and 3PLs are posting updates back into Shopify using fulfillment webhooks, they can use Passport as a shipping carrier to post those updates into Shopify. But it doesn't end at that. You can now also enable tracking events getting posted directly into Shopify from our system. So you can track SLAs within Shopify, and then If you are a brand that is using tracking milestones to trigger emails using Klaviyo, or have your post-order processes that are dependent on tracking milestones, this unlocks you to be able to run those workflows for your international shipments as well. So it's a very tiny, like almost invisible kind of update, but it actually has a meaningful impact on your customer experience. Moving on, again, a small extension, but goes a long way in helping improve conversion and bringing better visibility to your buyers. So a lot of our brands use duty and tax inclusive pricing during checkout to give a clean experience to their buyers. But even in where brands use that capability, it does not get applied to all of the countries in the world because there are just way too many countries in the world. So there is still a percentage of customer base that is seeing live duties and taxes in their cart when they are checking out on their store. And in some situations, that information may not be clear enough for the consumer to make the decision whether I want to buy this or not. It may look the amount may look too much because of the way the Shopify checkout is built. All the duties, taxes, and shipping amounts get lumped into the shipping line item. So we have built a way to bring more visibility into checkout by adding this new extension to our solution, which is called as the checkout block extension. What this does is the one line that buyers currently see that break down the shipping, taxes, and duties in checkout now gets expanded. So if they pick that shipping method, it gets expanded, and each of the line items or each of the costs is broken down into individual lines. So it gives better visibility to consumers on what exactly they are paying for, like what that amount includes. And another extension that goes along with it, kind of like a sister extension, is an assurance on the right-hand side that tells the consumer that, hey, everything that you're paying today is all inclusive of duties, taxes, fees. So you don't have to pay anything at delivery. We have found that this clarification and this visibility, the way we are breaking it down for consumers, helps improve conversion in countries where brands are using live duties and taxes. So if you would like to take advantage of this extension, please reach out to your CSM. We also are sending out documentation how you can enable it. It takes 30 seconds to enable this extension, and it just automatically works. Up next. So we have realized that it would be helpful to our brands if they could see certain key statistics and pieces of information directly within Shopify. So our passport shipping app originally was kind of like had a blank page or would take you to the passport portal. So we realized that there is an opportunity here to help you bring visibility directly into Shopify. So we are improving our homepage for our passport shipping app to give you information, pieces of information within Shopify, so you don't have to leave Shopify to see that information. It especially helps during onboarding when you're still new to us. So it gives you additional information right within Shopify. So I will present a demo by the product manager that actually built this capability so you can hear it directly from them. Give me 1 second as I do this.
Going global can seem overwhelming, but working with Passport shouldn't be. Brands have told us that they want a single place to go for all key information, especially early in our partnership. So we built it. Introducing their revamped Passport app inside Shopify, your new home base for Passport. Now, in addition to calculating your shipping fees, duties, and taxes on the back end, our Shopify app gives you easy access to all important information in one place. Open the app and instantly see key shipment analytics. Jump to the Passport portal in just one click. Access FAQs, resources, and brand referrals all in one place. And if you're onboarding or launching new markets, the app now tracks every step and links you directly to the exact place you need to take action. No guessing, no digging. This is coming soon and will be enabled automatically for all brands. Just search for the Passport app in Shopify and pin it to your sidebar for easy access.
Yeah, Preeti, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. I should have unmuted myself. Sorry. I'm gonna thank you to our product team, our engineering team to build that exciting update. Over to Elon to talk about our wonderful new Passport portal.
Yeah, thank you so much, Preeti. So all through the presentation and the webinar today, we've been talking about how Passport is helping you grow internationally, cross-border, in-country, and of course, make sure that you stay compliant along that whole journey. But as we've been helping you grow, we've also heard from brands that you want more insights and actionable information available directly to you so that you can make decisions about your international journey. So with that, I'm introducing you to the new homepage that's available in the portal. This gives you proactive notifications of growth opportunities. It tells you exceptions that are happening. It gives you shipment analytics. And it also will soon have a way for you to chat with your shipping data. For more, let's hear from the creator of the product, Emma Hughes.
Managing global growth should be as simple as logging in and seeing exactly how you're performing and what needs your attention. For many e-commerce brands, visibility is still the biggest challenge. Performance, exceptions, billing, and reporting, it's all too hard to find when you need it most. That's why we've upgraded the Passport portal with a brand new homepage, so the most important information is right in front of you. You can filter e-commerce metrics by region and drill down into each country. You can also filter by various time periods. We also display average transit times by service level and track top markets by revenue and top performing products right from the homepage. We also highlight shipments that need attention by their common shipping exception statuses. To easily see all of your current and historical Passport shipments, click on View My Shipments. You can also easily enable services like branded tracking page, the email template editor, and insurance to strengthen trust and post-purchase engagement. A new feature over here allows us to leverage Passport data to show brands how others in their industry are performing and highlight high potential markets for growth. Generate a new suggestion to see a new opportunity. Another fun and exciting update is our new AI chat feature. Now you have direct access to ask questions about your international shipping data, so you get answers on demand. Here, we ask for a breakdown on our shipping, duties, and taxes by shipment, and we can generate a report right from our response. As always, if you would like to do a deeper dive, you can click on the Shipping Analytics button from the homepage. Here, you can see a more detailed analysis on transit times and exceptions. Lastly, to round out our updates in the portal, you can now add your own team members directly to the portal, so everyone on your team has the visibility they need and you have full control over who has access to your data at all times. Everything we've introduced today is designed for visibility and speed, helping operation teams stay ahead of surprises, e-commerce teams stay informed, and executives clearly see what's driving global growth.
All right, that was Emma.
Yeah, it's super exciting. We've been working very hard at this all through the year. And as you saw, you get full visibility into your data. It's all available for you right there. And it's available now in the Passport portal. You just have to log in today. And I will mention that if you want early access to the AI chat feature, reach out to your CSM and they can get you set up.
I know we already have some great feedback from our brands that are using this today, and I'm very excited for the new features that we are launching in just a few weeks. So, what else do we have, Elon?
Yeah, last up here is another exciting product update. We know that international returns are messy. They're expensive. They often leave the brand on the hook for duties and taxes on those refunds. And so, because of that, brands will often just take the conversion hit and just not offer international returns. But we also know that 80% of first-time customers will look for your return policy when they're shopping. So because of that, we don't want you to have to make that compromise. So we're introducing our newly refreshed passport returns. This gives you competitive logistics costs from key markets like the UK, EU, and Canada. And it's available through your existing return platform like Loop. This is ideal for apparel brands or brands with high average order values. It also includes duty and tax refunds. Uh, those are available for eligible markets, and that means that you'll recover more of your costs so that you're not on the hook when you have to refund the customer. And I want to say, don't confuse this with duty drawback. This is a separate product that Passport offers, and duty drawback will help you recover up to 99% of US import duties that you accrued when you brought your products into the country and then you then exported out of the country. Passport Returns is currently being tested with some select Passport customers, and it will be available generally in the next quarter.
This is a game changer. I love this. I know brands are gonna really appreciate this. This helps bridge a gap that they may have in their service where they're offering returns in domestic for to their domestic consumers, but not to international. So this definitely bridges that gap. Thank you for that, Ilan.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so that rounds out our compliance and product updates for today. We are going to now move over to the Q&A portion of this webinar. If you have questions about things that we talked about today or about any other Passport global services in general, please post them in and we'll try our best to answer your questions. All right, let's see what we have so far.
I think, Tracy, the first couple
Yeah,
might be
all
for
right.
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Question is, can duty drawback be used to get IEPA tariff refunds? They can. The one note though is you can't do a PSC and duty drawback. You have to pick one or the other. So I would recommend, it's probably best to go through the post summary correction or protest for the IEPA. One note too, though, on duty drawback. That would also be for like regular duties as well. So you'd have to make sure that you're exporting those goods that you imported in for duty drawback to reclaim the 99%, where the post summary correction is going to be you don't have to like export it back out. It's just to reclaim those duties that you paid this last year. Next question from Deborah. Almost all of my products have the same harmonized code, but vary in price. Therefore, I list separate lines on the commercial invoice. Would €3 be charged per line or only once on the whole invoice, assuming shipping to the EU? So yeah, the $3 euro is based off the unique HS, the first HS6 digits. So if they're all HS6, they're all the same, you would only pay it one time. It doesn't matter on the value because when customs, we aggregate the values together per HS code. So it would not be per line, it would be per unique HS6 on your commercial invoice or parcel. A great question.
Yeah, that was a great clarifying question. I never even thought of that.
Yes.
Um,
And then does the EDUR regulations apply to cardboard packaging as well? If it's packaging to protect the product inside and it's just for shipping, it is exempt from the EU DPR. But if you're just shipping a cardboard box as a single item and it's made of a virgin fiber, yes. But if it's just the shipping packaging, no, you don't have to comply with that. It's exempt from these regulations.
Awesome. The next question is, how much does a passport portal cost? Great question. It doesn't cost anything. If you're shipping with Passport or using Passport Global, you have access to the Passport portal. It comes with the product, so everyone has access as long as you're a Passport customer. And then another question, how does offering returns impact sales and conversions? Another really good question. We know that offering returns impacts conversion pretty significantly. Some numbers that you can see out there, like as much as 20% of your conversion could lift as much as 20%. That's not from data that we have. So this is something that we are actively collecting with our early brands and will be continuing to collect as we launch returns with more customers. So we'll give you the updated statistics as we have them.
Thanks, Elon.
I think the next question is also about returns. Um, Can the returns function be enabled for beauty brands? This is from Annie. Yeah, absolutely. It can be. I would recommend talking with your CSM who will give you some advice on where it makes the most sense to offer returns. So for some brands, it makes total sense and it's a no-brainer to add this. For others, it may not be the most logical step. So definitely talk with your CSM and they can advise you about the best path for you. And if it makes sense, it can absolutely be enabled for any type of brand.
Thanks, Elon. I can take on the next question that Annie had about how to find the Passport Shopify app. So it is not publicly listed on the Shopify App Store. However, if you go to our website and ask for a demo, you will reach out to somebody on our team that will help you get on our platform, share the app details, but also get onboarded on our platform. So please use our website to find the person. What types of questions can the AI chat answer today? Great question. Ilan, do you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to answer this. So, the AI chat can answer many different types of questions, but they're bucketed into two main categories. So, one is a documentation type question. So, hey, how does this feature work? And the AI chat can pull from documentation and share with you the results of that. But the more interesting part, at least to me, is where you can chat with your data. And so the data that it has access to today is your checkout data. So it can tell you kind of summaries of, hey, here's how much you sold, here's how much was charged for shipping, duties, and taxes in your checkouts. It can tell you information about an individual tracking code, like, hey, where is this tracking code? Can you give me the latest update? Or it can do grouping. So it could tell you about, hey, how many shipments have you had to Germany in the last week? Or how many exceptions have you had to Canada in the last month?
Amazing. I see one more question about the tracking link feature. So this is something based on if you are fulfilling your orders yourself or you have a 3PL fulfilling orders on your behalf, after the fulfillment is done, they receive a tracking number from our site, and then they go back into Shopify and update using a fulfillment webhook. That is the place where instead of providing carrier name as other, that's what used to happen earlier. Now you can provide carrier name as passport and it gets automatically linked to us. These are great questions. Please keep them coming.
The next question, I assume, is about the portal. I would love to jump to the following question and then come back to this one.
Sure,
All right.
I can
Yeah.
jump in here. So question is, how do you know whether cross-border or local fulfillment is the best approach for my business? There's a couple ways to look at it. First, understanding, where your volume's at. If you haven't even tried shipping internationally and you really don't know where your volume is, usually cross-border is the easiest lift. You don't have to start moving your inventory around. And start working within each countries. But we've had many clients that knew immediately because of various reasons, like maybe their average order value is so high that getting hit on duties on your average order value versus your COGS is a reason to go in country. Again, on product type, it could be size. If you're shipping cookware, it is going to be expensive to ship it cross border versus in country. So I think you just have to, really, it really depends on your product type and then where you are in your journey. Like once you've reached certain volume, even when you have small products, Ridge Wallet's a client of ours, very small wallet. But once they've hit certain volume, it makes sense to go in country. So it is a bit of a discussion versus, a straightforward answer.
Awesome, great answer, David. And for the previous question, can I look at performance for a market over the last 12 months or set the time period? I only see today, last 7 days, last 30 days, last quarter, and this year. Those are the preset filters that we have currently, but we're always looking to update and improve the functionality. So this is an interesting request and something that I'll take away to the team.
Thank you, Elon. We are going to wait 1 more minute for more questions. If any of you have more things that you're curious about. So far, great conversation, great questions from everyone, very engaged audience. Thank you, everyone. Any last question? All right. Thank you everyone for joining, taking time out of your day and joining us in this discussion and listening about the changes that are happening over the industry, the new product updates from our side. I hope this was helpful to you. I thank my speakers, my panelists for all the content that you guys prepared, but also all these exciting changes that are happening at Passport. So thank you, everyone, and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.